If you could create a world from scratch, a world that supports humans to their fullest potential and capabilities, what kind of world would that be? Would that be the world that we're living in right now? So the thing is, we've inherited this world that we have, and through conditioning, through social programming, we just kind of accept things like this is the way things are. They might be a little bit fucked up, but I gotta live in the system, right? And understanding the matrix is understanding that it is by design and that we have the power to shift it to what our authentic organic reality is. So this is the crux of what I have been talking about in my work is this process of deconditioning ourselves. You know, everyone has this process of the basics of like we let go of lies such as I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I need to be successful in order to be good enough, etc. I need to be skinny, I need to make this much money, I need to have a car, have a house, whatever. Like all these things that these reasons we give ourselves that we're not good enough, not worthy of love, that keeps us small. We go through a process of undoing all these programs, um, and we come to a process of remembering who we truly are, which is love, which is power, which is divinity, right? So, but the thing is, the fact that we have to go through such an extensive process of deconditioning, right? Once you go undergo this process, you kind of uncover the breadcrumbs and learn like yes, there is a vested interest in keeping people traumatized, disassociated, um, because it's profitable, right? It pays big pharma. If people are sick, that big pharma gets more profits. In a similar way, like keeping people traumatized serves a certain agenda. So we go through this process of, and part of the problem is because humanity has been traumatized for millennia, we think trauma the way society works, right? Like, it's not conducive to humanity's fullest expression. We're used to it. We're used to it running on, a fraction of our full capability. And so we're used to society's traumatizing, and we to cope, most of us are in a dissociated state, like living in our minds, and we don't have access to these deeper levels of awareness and discernment and intuition where we can kind of feel like things are off, where we could say like this is actually not okay and I don't want to go along with this anymore. But unfortunately, because we we inherit like this trauma matrix, we can't really discern like maybe that this is not to our benefit. So part of being on Earth is that we undo these layers and we remember who we are and we anchor in our true organic potential. And so it's important to, and once you do, like the more you know, the more you know, the more you know that you don't know, right? The layers of the matrix become deeper and deeper. If any of you have read 1984, spoiler alert, it's like that guy who was giving the main character, like, hey, this is how the government works. And then, he turns out to be working for the government. So it's things like this, like, false light, um, that, like, we can get enmeshed in. And it's just a further process of discerning and discerning and discerning. So, yeah, the false matrix, it exists. And if you're watching this, if you resonate with healing, with upleveling, you're part of this mission to anchor in like the organic frequency, right? The positive matrix, because the word matrix in itself, it means like the mother's womb. Like we all need to live in some kind of substrate in order to exist. But it's like, what substrate do you want to live in? Do you want to live in the trauma substrate or the organic heaven on earth substrate? So it's important to be aware of, you know, am I resonating on the false matrix timeline or the organic one? And if I am resonating on the false matrix timeline, how do I shift out of that and go back to the organic? And that's just a process of undoing these layers and coming back into our authentic, whole divine selves. And there is, like, as you can see in the world, like, there's a vested interest in stopping that from happening, right? So we have forces pulling out all the stops to ensure that doesn't happen. And it's important to be aware and to be awake and to use your discernment to notice what is a lie and what is the truth. So with that, I wish you happy holidays, and I'll catch you at the next video. Goodbye.